Hi everyone and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel Spelfriending og Fellowship. My name is Andres Norwegian Viking, and today we take a closer look at the Battle Company scenario Lost in the Fog. So this will be a spooky episode. It's not Halloween yet, but yeah. So only kidding. So as with all the Battle Company scenarios, bear in mind that the best way to get the most out of the scenarios is to use the main rule, which is the person with the lowest company rating is the one choosing the scenario. This gives the person, the underdog basically, the option to choose a scenario that is most fitting with his or her army, or indeed beneficial against the opponent's army. So that is key in this. And it gives you a great advantage. Some scenarios are best against high model count armies. Some models are great against low model count armies. Some scenarios are great with high or low, or with more might than your opponent. So even the low scenarios can be great with the right army, or warband in this case. So, the Lost in the Fog. Two patrolling companies chance upon each other and quickly rush to drive the other from the lands. However, a thick unnatural fog has enveloped both companies, and the commanders must find a way to ensure victory over their opponent without the ability to clearly see the field of battle, or even the full disposition of the enemy forces. Who will emerge victorious, and who will be left to retreat in the grey mist? So this is a cool scenario. It has a bunch of cool special rules, and yeah. So it has, however, changed a bit. So I'll get into that later. So the layout is a 4x4 table with terrain placed as designed for an interesting and visually pleasing layout. Remember to use as much terrain as you like, basically, but I do recommend that you use as much terrain as possible, even above 50% coverage, because it makes the terrain and the board look awesome. It makes it more interesting to shoot with one more in the ways, and you basically have better time making the mold's eye view, the fulcrum of the scenario, and just have a blast basically. In the old scenario, you basically had some people hang a curtain between the two forces, so you couldn't see where your opponent came in. This one, however, doesn't rely on your friends to basically stand and look awkward for a couple of minutes. So this time, however, you divide the table into 4 quadrants numbered 1, 2, 4, alternating between players. Roll d6 for each individual model in your battle company and consult the chart for deployment. No model will be deployed within 6 inches of another friend or foe. So on a 1 quadrant, 1, 2, number 2, 3, number 3, 4, number 4. On a 5, your opponent deploys model in whichever quadrant he chooses, provided there is space to do so. And on a 6, deploy in whichever quadrant you choose, provided there is space to do so. So you will have a warband that is very spaced out, like really cool. So you will have to try to get your models together, and the objective is that at the end of a turn where one company has been reduced to 1/3 of its starting number, models who flee the battlefield counts against this number but are not considered casualties. If both companies are reduced to 1/3 in the same turn, the game is considered a draw. So here is the big change. Well, not change, but because of the way you deploy, it is a big change. Reduce visibility. Visibility is reduced to 12 inches for the game. Warriors may not target or shoot any enemy further than 12 inches away from them. Furthermore, any model that does not have a friendly model in range and line of sight suffers a -1 courage penalty. This penalty does not apply to spreads, as their perception is not limited to physical sight. So this means if your force is broken and you are far away from your own friends, you do have a -1 courage. That is quite cool, especially in the way you deploy in the scenario. So it does rely on number advantage, because then you can basically jump on enemies where there are less have less numbers, stuff like that. And but then again, a mighty hero can fight through more models, and then suddenly you're on your own. And it does also very strongly cater to terracoursing models. So a Minas Morgul army has a great benefit, as your enemies might have a -1 courage penalty to charge you. That's cool. So that is basically the scenario Lost in the Fog. Please join us tomorrow as we talk about the next scenario in the series, which is Rescue. That is quite a cool scenario and will probably be played more often than any other scenario, and we'll get to that next week, tomorrow. So as always, please comment, like, share and subscribe, and do support your Hobbit hobby.